Welcome to the Manage My Club tutorial video number 9. Today we're going to be talking about expenses. Expenses can be found under Finance, Expenses tab. Basically, expenses are any amount of money that's coming out of your club bank account for whatever reason. Room hire, pool hire, club kit costs, paying your instructors, anything that comes out your account basically. There's a couple of different ways on how expenses get into the system. You can add them manually by obviously showing now it says we haven't got any, so if you click add one, pretty straightforward, date, amount, details and the account code. You set up the account codes on the setup finance account codes there. So once you fill that in, you click add, and that would add that in the system as an expense. And the way expenses get reconciled is the same way as income, i.e. on the bank statement when you've got expense transactions, money coming out the account, you'll see that reflected on the transaction. In fact, I'll show you now. Bank statements. Right, I've got this quick statement that have got two transactions on it. One is a payment of £20 coming into the account, and one is a an expense of £99. Obviously the minus sign means it's coming out the account, and I've just called it for room hire on this date. To add an expense onto a bank statement manually, you would put the date, you'd put the transaction amount with a minus sign in front of it for an expense, add the details, then click add transaction. And when you go to reconcile a bank statement, expenses are in red, income is in green. So if you've not looked at the bank statement video, that goes through basically how you reconcile transactions, so I recommend you watch that one. I'll just quickly touch on the expenses. It's exactly the same. The create would create an expense in the system for this amount. The match you use to match an expense that you've already added via the manually add expense, or the split is used to split two or more expenses across one statement transaction. So I'll show you what happens when we reconcile this expense here. So I've got no expenses in the system at all at the moment, so what I want to do is I'll let the system create one. All this is filled out automatically except account code, so that's all we need to select. I've already set one up called room hire. Obviously you've got to set those up. Set up finance account codes. Once you've selected that and you're happy with this, you can obviously add anything extra that you want. Click the reconcile button, and that disappears, and that's reconciled against that statement transaction. It's updated the system balance because there was £99 coming out of it, obviously, and it started at 1,000, so that's 901, and it's added that expense here, which previously obviously it was empty. It's showing you that it's reconciled. If we click through onto it, we can make any adjustments. We can add extra details here. We could even delete it. If we do delete it, it will automatically unreconcile that. I'll show you. Delete that. Yeah. So the same, we've got none. Go back to the bank statement. It shows it as not reconciled. I'll quickly show you. If we add a manual expense, let's say we'll call that the same date, 28th, amount 99. You don't need to put the minus sign if you're adding it on this add expense form, because it already knows it's an expense, so there's no need to put the minus sign in front of it. Room hire, account code, click add. That's added a manual one. Obviously it's not reconciled yet because we haven't done that yet. So if we now go to bank statements, reconcile, this time I'll choose match because we have got one in the system and we know we have. There it is, so that matches that. Click reconcile, done. Same way as before, but we didn't create a new one, we matched one. And then to prove it, if we go back to expenses, it shows it's reconciled, and that's expenses. Thanks for watching. The next video we're going to be going through is income, so see you next time.